How's it going, guys? So yes, finally I have got round to doing a performance test on Half Life Alyx with the MSI Afterburner. I'm using a i5 4690k processor and a GTX 980 graphics card. There's 16 gigs of RAM in this, and as you can see, this first part is on the low settings, low fidelity. There it is, low. And a few people have been asking in the comments what kind of frame rate I'm getting. So this is just a random part of the game.
Huh. I think I can reroute this with my multi-tool.
Your what?
It's a tool with multiple functions. So, you know, multi-tool.
And it seems to want to default to about 90.
Alex, that thing's incredible. You need an incredible brand name. Something that really sells it.
Who am I going to sell it to?
The Combine's not going to be here forever. You should be thinking about the future, Alex.
Well, how about I call it the Alyx?
It's a little derivative of the Russells, but yeah, provisionally, sure. The Alex.
Yeah, Alyx.
So as you can see, I mean, it wants to sit at around 90, but it does drop down when the action starts, you know, on, you know, the lowest settings. It does seem to get at least sort of around, yeah, 70 there, 73 there, but it bounces back to about 90. It's only using 10.5 gigs of the RAM. The CPUs, you know, you can see there 80% load on the CPU. Graphics card sitting about 80 degrees C. I must be honest, I have no idea if that's good or bad.
Oh, careful of that barnacle, Alex.
But in this video, I do aim to test on medium, high, and ultra settings as well, just to give an idea of what sort of frame rate we're getting. It does, in places, I must admit, feel a little bit glitchy, even on the lowest settings. It feels a bit steppy sometimes. But, like I've said before, in the Half Life Alyx walkthrough that I did, you know, ideally, I wouldn't want to play this game on anything, you know, hardware-wise, lower than what I'm using it on here.
How'd you meet my dad, anyway? You guys work together at Black Mesa, right?
Yeah, well, no. Tricky place to get a job at, actually. I interviewed at Black Mesa, they did try again in a year. I don't need to tell you what happened after that. Lucky break for me, really. Not a lot of survivors. Honestly, it's a miracle you and your dad got out of there.
You know, I wouldn't want to use anything lower than an i5 4690 and the GTX 980. I mean, nothing here is overclocked. I haven't tweaked anything at all. It's stock. Yeah, it's a 4 gig graphics card. And I must admit, it does better than I thought it would do playing this game. And yeah, like I say, it's on lowest settings possible, but let's try it on medium. Just go into here, into performance, medium fidelity. And you can't notice a huge difference really in the graphics.
Last one.
Drop down there to about 33 frames per second. So it's definitely taken a bit more of a toll. And you can notice it a little bit more. There's a few more sort of glitches when you're playing it. It's less enjoyable on medium settings. Still doable, still playable. But like I just said, I wouldn't want to play on anything less you know, lesser hardware than what I'm using here. The GTX 980, the i5 4690k, 16 gigs of RAM. You can see it's only really using just over 10.5 gigs of the RAM there. But you know, it's quite CPU hungry. It's what, 82, 89. But even on medium settings, it still tries to get up to 90 frames per second there. It does very well, I must say. This hardware, it doesn't do badly. But like I said, I wouldn't want to try it on anything less than this. Like I said, even on the lower settings, you know, it's only just about playable, really. But anyway, let's go to high fidelity and see how that affects things. So yeah, instantly drop down to 40s. As soon as there's a little bit of action going on, yeah, you're sitting at around the 40s. The i5's going up to sort of near 90%, 100% there. Yeah, things are having to work quite a lot harder on high settings. Wouldn't really want to play this game on high with this hardware. It's a bit jittery to play. Feels a bit glitchy. It's much nicer on low. And to be honest with you, do you know what? It still looks absolutely gorgeous on low settings. You don't notice it on high being much different, to be honest, apart from the performance. Fantastic game though. I mean, I've played this game through twice now. I played it once through on easy and another time through on medium, and it just gives you less resources, less ammo and stuff like that on the harder levels. You know, it take a few more bullets to kill the baddies. But an absolutely stonking game, and my god, didn't we wait for it. Interesting to see what Project Borealis are going to do. Trying to make a Half Life 3 or a Half Life Episode 3. Go check that out. You know, they're still working on it, but go check out their YouTube channel. Project Borealis.
You know, Russell, now that I'm walking into the quarantine zone, it just hit me. I don't know anything about the quarantine zone.
Well, actually, the word quarantine comes from the Italian 40 giorni, which means 40 days, the period that all ships were required to be isolated before crew could go ashore during the Black Death.
All right. Cool.
That's the control panel. They've probably scrambled the circuit. Considering no one would be dumb enough to open the hatch, it shouldn't be too hard to put back.
Yeah, so even on high settings, it's still trying to get back to 90 frames a second when there's not much going on. The frame rate does rise, even on high.
Finally.
I'm gonna head in. How far is Fairview Junction?
You'll go through the old subway tunnels on your way to the train yard.
Have they started moving Dad yet?
I don't think so.
40, 30 frames per second there. It's dropping down
Great.
quite a lot on
All
high,
bad news,
45,
because they've
44.
already killed him. And you don't need to move a corpse, you just bury it. Or burn it. You still there, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try it on Ultra. The fine-tuning settings here, textures on Ultra. Everything else is on Ultra. So I mean, this is not going to work, as we well know. But let's have a look. Yeah, 40s, 50s. And it feels glitchy as hell.
Seen this?
Whoa.
Alright. Here we
Yeah,
go.
taking a while to draw things as well. Things popping in and out. 11 gigs used on the RAM. 20 frames per second then. Yeah, you wouldn't want to play it on this setting. Just going to go into a loading screen here. Yep, frames per second, 200. I'm going to edit out this part. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, we're back. So Ultra settings now.
Hey, Russell. I just found a loose syringe of God knows what. Is this medicine?
Does it have a skull and crossbones on it?
I don't see one.
Probably medicine then. Do you hear that?
What is that? Oh boy.
Yeah, that's the way we gotta go.
No shortcut?
Yeah, that
Yeah, the processor is definitely busy now. 100% usage. Fluctuates about a bit, but it hits that 100% quite a lot. Graphics card's probably working about as hard as it possibly can as well. Still at 80 degrees.
Alright, that seemed to work.
The frame rate's
Keep doing
not
that.
terrible, but
Oh, just so you know, the Russells have a built-in display that shows you
play it on the
weapons,
Oculus
ammo,
Rift and
might
you
come in handy.
notice it feels jittery. A lot more jittery than on low. Like I said, with this hardware, play it on low, and I don't think there's a huge amount of difference visually. There maybe is, but on low it's certainly gorgeous to play. And better than that, the storyline in this game is fantastic. As it is with all of the Half-Life games. I love Half-Life. But here on low settings, we're up in the 90 frames per second. Pretty consistently up there. Drops down a bit. Doesn't ruin anything. But like I've said throughout this video, if you are running anything, you know, under the hardware that I'm using here, the i5 4690k GTX 980, 16 gigs of RAM, if you've got anything less than that, upgrade before you play this game. Don't waste your money. I wouldn't want to play this game on anything less than what I'm using here, honestly. It's good on low. It's not as good on medium. But anyway, guys, I hope this video's helped. I hope it's answered some of your questions. Great game. I highly recommend it. I think I paid full price for this when it very first came out. I didn't even hesitate. I love Half-Life. I needed to play it immediately. Anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!